Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I am coming to you from my neighborhood entryway. This is kind of a pointless bed, honestly. I don't understand why neighborhoods need to have things like this. They don't really serve any function. And I am the person by default that has to take care of it. So today I am gonna try and clean this up because tomorrow is my open garden and I want the entryway to look better than this. This is all filled with nutsedge, and actually I brought in the nutsedge. I brought in ground leaves from the city of Raleigh, and though it's a great concept, it's always not great in execution because in those leaves come a whole bunch of weed seeds, and really once you have nutsedge, it's really hard to combat. I've actually treated it over the years with Sedgehammer, a sedge-specific herbicide, and it helped a little, but it definitely didn't eliminate it. So today I'm gonna be weeding all that out. I'm gonna be unveiling the peanuts that we planted here back in June. And I'm actually going to be using this space as my 2021 seed experiment. So what I really wanna do is clear up some of this underperforming buckwheat. It's just been so dry, the buckwheat that was directly sown didn't really ever take a hold. And what I want to do is actually see how many small bags, 1 cubic foot bags of soil cube it takes to use 1 packet of the poppies, Papaver somniferum, that I'm offering for sale. So these are 1/4 ounce packs of poppies for $5 a piece, and it's a ton of seeds. Right now I have 2 bags. I suspect it's actually gonna take 4 bags of the small soil cube to facilitate the needs for 1 packet of poppies. So stay tuned for my progress. That is a whole wheelbarrow of nutsedge. The bed looks so much better. Now you'll notice I'm going to concentrate the soil cube here in the middle of this island bed for 2 reasons. One, the poppies are tall and I don't want them to block people's view of the road. But more importantly, out here is where the nutsedge population is so bad. And frankly, I just don't want to add any more fuel to make the nutsedge grow stronger. So no compost, no fertilizer out here in this sort of tip of the bed. But you can see what's growing well. These are peanuts. These were sown, I think I did this in June. And you see, those are the pegs. They dip down into the ground and then the nuts form on them. And here's some self-sown daikon radish. And that one's actually perfect for eating right now. I'm actually gonna sow daikon radish directly in this bed as a cover crop for the winter season. Now I wanna show you the peanuts that are forming. See? Just like that. And that's a nice big plant. You can cover them up for now. But there's probably 50 or so peanuts on each one of these large plants. The nutsedge outcompeted the peanuts on this side. So to prevent new weeds from forming, that's why I'm going to direct seed the daikon radish through here. The main thing is that's not so tall, so it won't block anybody's view of having to look for traffic. And I'll concentrate the tall things, very specifically the poppies, on either side of this middle section. And I'm gonna start by doing one side. I'm gonna put out 2 bags. I'm gonna see how far the poppy packet goes. I'm pretty sure my concept is true. I think that per packet it's gonna be 4 cubic feet bags of soil cube. So let's see. So I'm not gonna remove any of the buckwheat that's here. I'm just gonna top dress the whole area with the soil cube. I'm gonna rake it out evenly. And it'll approximately be about 1 inch deep. That's typically what I recommend to people for direct sowing the poppies. Now I'm very early and I'm doing this on purpose. We're in the middle of October. I usually recommend that you wait until Black Friday, the last Friday of November. And that's because the soil temperatures are cooler. But I wanted to see if there's any advantage to sowing poppies a little bit earlier than that. And I figured it can't hurt. If it doesn't work this time, I'll be able to sow more later on in the season. So I'm just gonna dump this bag out. Shockingly heavy. And remember, I'm gonna concentrate this just through the middle here on either side of the panicum. All right, as you can see, I've just layered that compost, raked it out right on top. Didn't remove the plants, I didn't remove the existing mulch. And this is about 9 foot long by, roughly 3 foot deep. So let's say about 30 square feet. And here I have my 1/4 ounce packet of poppies. Poppy seeds are really small. They're just like what you get on the top of a poppy seed muffin. And the key with successful poppy growing is that you simply scatter them in place and leave them alone. They like to be in more sun than shade. They really like to have a nice base of compost, which is why I'm using the soil cube. And you direct sow them, and they have to be on the surface because they need light to germinate. Again, I usually do this on Black Friday, doing it as an experiment in 2 ways. First, to understand how much square footage my 1/4 ounce packets of poppies actually will cover, and second, to see if there's any advantage to sowing earlier than late November. Now, the process for seeding is really quite simple. I'm just gonna come through and I'm gonna lightly scatter. So for this amount of space, I used like way less than half of this pack. So I suspect that it would actually probably be closer to 8 bags of soil cube for 1 packet of these seeds that I'll be selling during my fall open garden tomorrow, Saturday, October 9th, from noon to 4 p.m. Now, these seed packets are $5 each, and I will have the small yellow bags of soil cube available for $15 each. You can literally put them in your car and drive home, and then you'll be ready to grow poppies for yourself this season. I'm gonna get this bed finished, and then I'll give you a tally as to exactly how much square footage I estimate this 1/4 ounce bag of poppies will cover. So now that this side of the bed has been layered with about 1 inch of soil cube compost, so again, 2 bags of the 1 cubic foot, I am gonna just scatter some more seeds. I suspect I will have about half of this bag left by the time I finish this. Now remember, the trick to poppies is that once you sow the seeds, you completely leave it alone. No raking, no walking, no mulching. So now that the seeds are scattered on both sides here, I'm gonna leave these be, and hopefully within the next few weeks, I'll start to see germination, and I'll definitely give you updates. But I'm gonna finish the rest of the bed off by doing another top dressing of seeds. I'm not bringing in compost, because remember, this is where all that nutsedge was growing, and I don't want to feed it by adding fertilizer or compost. I'm just gonna do an overseeding of crimson clover as a nitrogen fixer and daikon radish to fill in the gaps and hopefully suppress some of the winter weeds that are just starting to germinate. The goal for this bed is just to be as low maintenance as possible. I usually only come out to maintain it twice a year, and I've been doing it for like 7 years now, employing this strategy with all these direct seeded plants. So hopefully it'll look good, and all the rest of the neighbors will enjoy our neighborhood entry for the fall season. So a few key points to really drive in the concept of direct seeding. You want to be cognizant of your resources. So for one reason, I do direct seeding out in that neighborhood entry because there's no irrigation and it's surrounded by asphalt and cars that drive really fast. So trying to transplant things into that garden is not going to be the best use of my time. But if we get some rain, those seeds will germinate in place, establish deeper tap roots, and ultimately be able to grow out through the season. Now, there's no questioning that is easier to maintain through the winter than it is in the summer. And that's simply because of the weed pressure and the temperatures and rainfall. So I think this winter it's going to be really successful, and I'm hopeful that the poppies are going to do great despite being sown about 6 weeks earlier than I normally do. Now, again, remember with poppies, the main thing that people do wrong is they cover them up. Poppies have to have light to germinate, so once you sow the seeds, you've got to leave them alone. They will germinate typically within 2 weeks of sowing, and then they will develop a rosette through the rest of the winter season. They will start to elongate a flower stalk as the days get longer and warmer in the spring. So you have like a 6-month season when you're direct seeding Papaver somniferum, but it's well worth it because the display that they create in April and May is truly unmatched by anything else. If you found this video to be helpful, share it with a friend and give me a thumbs up. I look forward to sharing updates from my first poppy installation of 2021 from my neighborhood entryway, and I hope that you'll be able to come visit tomorrow during the open garden from noon to 4 p.m. You can visit my website, breegrows.com, for all the details. Thanks for watching.